Hey guys, it's Abby, and today I'm just making a video on the whim. Like, I wasn't preparing for this video. I am exhausted right now, and I just figured what better thing than to do a video when you are going through something, and you don't wait until after you've gone through it to talk about it. You talk about it while you're in the middle of it. And being a parent is really, really hard. I know a lot of you have kids. I know a lot of you have older children or younger children or grandchildren. So I know you guys know exactly what I'm going to say, or like how I feel at this moment. But being a parent is so hard. It is so, so hard. I have, like I said before in my other video, that I wasn't wearing makeup. I tried to fix my eyebrows, but whatever. I can't even really focus on my eyebrows because I'm so tired. But this is how I look without makeup. I am a mother of a 7 and 9-year-old. And even at this age, they still need my full attention, especially when they're sick. Like they need me still. And a lot of people say like it gets better as they get older, or they're not going to need you as much, but I haven't felt that way yet. My kids are very attached to me, and I don't ever get a break. Tuesday, my daughter Dahlia, she is 10, she wasn't feeling well, and I sent her to school anyway, but I kind of knew inside that I shouldn't have sent her to school because she had a cold and she was coughing, but she didn't have a fever or anything. She just had this cold. So when she came back from school that day, her nose was really raw from wiping it, and she just didn't feel well. So I kind of made up my mind on Tuesday night that I was going to keep Dahlia home from school just to have a day with me and a day just to relax and recuperate. So I kept her home on Wednesday, and she just laid around all day. She definitely wasn't feeling well, and she had coughed a lot that night. So I was up on Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, checking on her, making sure I propped her pillows up. I put Vicks Vapor Rub on her chest. I also put it on her feet with socks on. The humidifier was on, giving her drinks of water, because as much as they're coughing and they're basically sleeping, like your kids are sleeping when they're coughing, they're not noticing they're coughing. Us as parents, when we hear that, we have to go running and checking on them. So I did that all on like early, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. And then she stayed home Wednesday. We had a really good day together. We spent the day together. We snuggled up on the couch and watched Netflix and played games on our little devices together, and it was a really nice day. So I knew that she was feeling better by the time her sister came home from school. I knew that Dahlia was feeling better. Well, Scarlett came home from school Wednesday, and she automatically started fighting with Dahlia and crying, and her behavior was really off. Now, Scarlett's a tough kid. She's 7, she's tough, but she's not that tough. Like I can deal with her mood swings like any mother can. But she's a tough kid. She's my tough cookie kid. But she just wasn't feeling well. Like, you could tell she wasn't feeling well. She just wasn't right. So she did her homework, and I remember my husband was sitting at the table with her while she was doing her homework, and she was acting up, and he goes, "You're getting sick, aren't you?" He's like, "Because your behavior is really, really tough right now." And she's like, "I'm not getting sick, no." But she did. She ended up getting sick. So I tucked her in. Her bedtime is at 8 o'clock, and my 10-year-old's bedtime is at 9. So I went in and I tucked Scarlett into bed, and she said her belly was hurting her. And last week her belly had been hurting her a little bit too, and she had a sour stomach last week, and I thought maybe she had picked up a little virus, but she was fine. It just lasted a few days, and she was really fine. She was playing and acting normal. She just said she had her belly hurt. So I went and I got the chewable Peptos that I had from the week before, and I gave Scarlett one of the Peptos. And I said, "Here, take this and just fall asleep, and by the time you wake up in the morning, your belly will be better." So I gave her that. I gave her a kiss, tucked her in, and turned on her music, and I left her room. I automatically called my mom because we just found out that a family member of ours is very sick, and so I wanted to talk to my mom about that. So I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was on the phone with my mom for about 40 minutes, and I see Scarlett. I was outside, and I see Scarlett running towards my bedroom, and I'm like, what is she doing? Because usually Scarlett goes and goes and goes all day. Like, she doesn't stop. She's not a kid that sits down. She's a kid that just is always doing something. So when she goes to sleep at night, she hits the pillow and she's out. But she was running towards my room. She went in there. She didn't see me in there. She ran back into the kitchen, and her hand was like this. And I was like, great. I said, Mom, I gotta go. Scarlett's gonna throw up. So I get Scarlett, and I pick her up, and I run her into the bathroom, and I was like, throw up in the toilet. So she threw up in the toilet, and that started the night. That started the night. She started vomiting at 9. It was like a half hour went by, then she vomited again, and then after the first initial 3 vomiting, she started vomiting every 15 minutes until 4:30 in the morning. And then she slowed down. She was able to sleep from every 15 minutes to every half hour, and she didn't stop vomiting until 9:30 the next morning. So she was vomiting for over 12 hours. It was so difficult to watch. She's one of those kids that she's afraid of it. She's afraid of vomiting. She's afraid of her belly hurting her. She just gets really nervous. So that was tough too. I had to calm her down. I had to make sure she was okay. You know how the stomach virus is, like, or the stomach flu as some people call it. I hate it so much. I can't stand how it makes my kids feel. But I've been through it so many times that I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. So it's like, all right, I know that in this many hours it's going to be over. But this was a really weird virus. It was 12 hours of vomiting. Then at 9:30 she fell asleep, and she slept for about an hour. And when she woke up, she was getting warm. I could feel her fever coming, but I couldn't give her anything for it because she was going to get sick. She couldn't hold anything down. The only thing she was, by 10:30, I had given her an ice chip, just an ice chip to melt in her mouth to make that gross taste she had go away. And she kept that down. So then, so the rest of the day, she laid in bed. She slept all day, and I bleached the house. I bleached the doorknobs. I bleached the floors. I bleached the toilets. I bleached everything. I washed all the clothing. I washed all the sheets. I did everything so that when she feels better, she's going into a clean environment and then my bedroom would be the last because I moved her into my room. So my bedroom's like the infirmary, and I would clean that last because everybody knows when one kid gets a stomach virus, most of the time the next kid gets it. And my 10-year-old will be next, and that will probably be tonight, but hopefully not. So for the rest of the day, she laid in bed. She had a fever. It was a high fever, but it wasn't like so high I was worried. So then around 4 o'clock, I noticed her fever was getting high. I called my mom, and she said, just put damp cloths on her head and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I did all that, and she fell back asleep. Around 6:30, I go in there to check on her because she had been sleeping for a while, and I wanted to give her something to drink. My husband brought home ginger ale and Gatorade and Pedialyte, like anything you can imagine he brought home just to get liquids inside of her. So at 6:30, I went into the room, and I was like, Scarlett, I tried to wake her up because I really wanted to get her cleaned up, change her outfit, just get her up and make her feel better by changing her clothes and brushing her hair and, just making her feel okay. And when I went into my room to get her, she was so hot. I have never felt my kid so hot before in my life. Like, her body felt like it was in the oven. So I quickly took off the blankets, and I was like, Scarlett, wake up. And she opened her eyes, and they started rolling in the back of her head. And I'm like, Scarlett, can you hear me, Scarlett? Like, come on, Scarlett, let's get you in the bath. I want to get you in the bath because I was scared to give her medicine because I didn't want her to vomit. She had nothing in her stomach all day. I said, Scarlett, let me get you in the bath. And she tried to speak, but her speech was slurred, and she couldn't talk. So as a mom, when you see your kid this sick, you get this feeling in your stomach. You get fear in you, but you can't just throw your hands up and say, oh my God, I'm too scared to deal with it. You have to deal with it. So I'm like, Matt, I told my husband, I'm like, Matt, you need to go turn on the bathtub, I said, don't make it a cold bath, but make it lukewarm. We need to get her into the bathtub. So I'm picking her up, I'm stripping her clothes off. I pick her up, she's limp in my body. Limp, like limp. When I say limp, limp. She wasn't moving. I was so scared. She was breathing, but she wasn't moving. So I run to the bathroom, which is on the other side of the house with the bathtub, and I get her in there. And within 10 minutes, she was talking. Like you could see her sitting up where like strength came back in her body, and she was sitting up, and she began talking more, and I gave her a glass of ginger ale with a straw, and she sipped on that, and she definitely was feeling better at that point. But that scared me so badly. I've never had a kid with such a high fever before in my life, ever. I've never, ever experienced that. My kids have had fevers, but they'd never had fevers that high. That was really scary. So I had been up for almost 48 hours by that point. And I was so tired yesterday. I remember I texted someone and I was like, I am so tired I could cry right now, because I was so tired. I was exhausted. So last night after I gave her bath and I was able to get something in her body. After the bath, she was able to eat 2 crackers, and she drank some Gatorade, and she kept that in. So after an hour, I gave her some ibuprofen to help keep the fever down through the night. I tucked her into bed, and she slept through the night last night. She slept through the night last night. So did I. Well, I checked on her a few times, but I was able to sleep. I must have gotten at least 5 hours of sleep last night. So she's doing much better today. She still has a fever, but she's doing much better. And I just wanted to get on here and, you know, I do all these unboxings and I do makeup videos and I do funny videos, but my main job, my biggest job that I have is being a mother, is being a parent. And it is so hard. It is so hard being a parent. It's so hard. You want to, especially when they're sick. Not that it's not hard when they're not sick, but when they're sick, you want to take everything that they're dealing with away. You don't want them to be sick. And when your kid is so sick that they're just laying there and not moving, it's heartbreaking and it breaks your heart. And so that's what I dealt with yesterday. Thank God she is feeling so much better today. She is going to snuggle in my bed in a little bit, and I'm going to put on a movie for her, and we're just going to lay together and watch a movie, probably nap. But that is what I've done for the past few days. Hopefully, I'm praying that my oldest daughter does not get the stomach flu, as well as me. We don't need it anymore in this house. 1 kid with it was enough, but that's it. I just wanted to, I don't know why I wanted to get on here and say this or tell you guys this, but I was really scared yesterday as a parent. I was scared through the night when she was vomiting, and I was scared with that fever. I was really scared, but my instincts crept in, and I did everything that I needed to do as a mother. And it's so weird how those instincts come in, because I don't know. I don't know where they come from, but they do. They get you through everything. Like through 12 hours of vomiting and taking care of your daughter, wishing you could take her place. But you get through it. You get through it, and your kids get through it, and these things happen. Viruses happen, colds happen, every kind of sickness happens. But thankfully, it was just a 24-hour flu, and she's doing so much better today. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are having a really great day. I hope everyone is feeling healthy and they're happy. And that is it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
She's lying on my stomach.
No, you feeling better? Yeah.
Are you making a video?
Yeah, I'm just making a short one.
Let me see.
Well, you're not going to see it because you're in the video. Are you feeling better, Scarlett?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had a tough day yesterday, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you're feeling better. And who loves you so much? Mommy loves you so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the most beautiful girl in the world. And you've got a fluffy cat right there. Scribble. Scribble.
I've been doing this to his ear.
He loves to be loved on.